2025. A Reddit user named StillFrame91 posted something, and the very first line stopped everyone. "I was only away from home for 4 hours, and when I came back, my dog had undergone surgery. The strangest part, I never took him anywhere." This was not a normal story. The user explained that he lives in an isolated area, alone, and his Labrador was his closest companion. Whenever he went out, he would leave the dog in the backyard with shade, water, and food. Everything was always properly arranged, and there had never been a problem until that day. He was only gone for 4 hours, from around 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. When he came back, he immediately noticed something was wrong. The dog was not behaving normally. His movements were slow. His body seemed stiff, like he was carefully thinking before every step. At first, he ignored it, thinking the dog was just tired. But when he got closer, everything stopped. On the dog's stomach, there were fresh stitches, perfectly straight, perfectly clean, as if they had been done in a professional operating room. No blood, no signs of panic, just perfect surgery. His mind went completely blank. He immediately picked up the dog and rushed to the nearest clinic. As soon as the vet examined him, his expression changed. He stayed silent for a few seconds, then said quietly, "This was done by a trained professional." The atmosphere in the room became heavy. The doctor explained that fat had been removed from the dog's abdomen in a controlled manner. But why? For what reason? There were stitches on both sides, and even a small drain tube was inserted, something normally used after surgery. And the strangest part, the dog was stable, no panic, no visible injury, just surgery. The owner immediately asked, "Did anyone bring him here?" The clinic staff replied, "No, we are seeing him for the first time." Now the situation was no longer simple. Either someone entered the house, or someone took the dog, performed the surgery, and brought him back. Both possibilities were equally disturbing. The owner filed a report, checked nearby clinics, but no one had seen anything. No cars, no noise, nothing. People online began sharing theories. An underground medical operation, an experiment, or the work of a disturbed individual. Then one user pointed something out. A drain tube is usually used for controlled infections. He suggested, maybe the dog had a hidden injury and someone secretly treated it. It sounded reasonable, but the problem remained. No visible injury, no signs of struggle, no unusual behavior, just a planned surgery. Then the original poster gave one final update, and after that, everything became even more unclear. The backyard was secure, the gate was locked, no signs of entry, no disturbance. And the biggest factor, time. Only 4 hours. In that short time, taking the dog, performing surgery, stitching him up, placing a drain tube, and bringing him back. It seemed almost impossible. At this point, everyone agreed. This was done by someone experienced, someone who did not want to be traced. Authorities took interest, but then, suddenly, the account was deleted. No final update, no explanation, just silence. To this day, the case remains unsolved. No suspect, no motive. Only one question remains. What really happened in those 4 hours? If you were in that house, what would you check first? The locks, the cameras, or the backyard? In November 2024, a Reddit user with the username Static Vibe made a deeply unsettling and concerning post. He wrote, "I urgently need $780,000. If I don't arrange it by January, they are coming for me. What should I do?" If this post had been made in a help-seeking subreddit, people might have taken it seriously right away. However, it was posted in a random music community, a place where people usually just discuss underground rap and sad music. Because of this, everyone was confused. Some users wondered, is this a lyric reference? Is this some kind of hidden message from an artist? But then, Static Vibe started replying, and his tone was dead serious. I'm not joking, I really need help. Now, people became more alert. One user casually commented, "Bro, try freelancing or take a loan." He replied, "I'm ready to do anything, writing, editing, whatever it takes." The situation started to feel real. Then someone jokingly said, "Bro, just disappear." Static Vibe's response made things heavy. "It's not that easy. They're all tracking my movements." The mood of the entire thread changed instantly. Suddenly, the OP uploaded a photo. It was a night scene showing 3 cars parked in a line with 3 to 4 men staked near them. Their faces weren't clear, but the strangest thing was the angle. It looked like it was taken from behind bushes, from a low position, as if the person taking it was hiding in fear. Panic set in. The comments flooded in. "Where is this? Are you safe? Did you inform the authorities?" After some time, the OP dropped a long reply, and the story began to make sense. A few years ago, Jest was in the wrong circle. Fights, drugs. I was involved in all of it. One night, things went out of control. A serious incident happened. I wasn't directly responsible, but I was there. He continued. The case was closed, but some people never forgot. Now they are demanding money, and the pressure is increasing. Now think we're somewhat clearer, but one question remained. One user directly asked, "Why did you post this here?" The reply was short and chilling. "Because I have no one else." That single line completely changed the tone. People genuinely tried to help. One user gave practical advice. Change your location temporarily, give an anonymous tip to the authorities, and stay in public places. But the OP's next reply made everyone uneasy. "They're not just pressuring me, they're already watching." And then, one final message appeared. "If I don't reply, just understand." After that, silence. No updates, no replies. One day passed, then 2, then an entire week. People kept checking his profile, but the account had been created that same day. Only one post, one image, and then complete disappearance. To this day, Static Vibe has never returned. No one was able to trace the exact location of that image, and his story was never verified. No one ever found out what truly happened to him. Sometimes it feels like he might have been unstable, or maybe this is one of those stories where all we can do is guess what truly happened in the end. October 2024. A Reddit user named GrayPulse17 made a post, and the very first line made people uneasy. "When I was 6 years old, a man walked into my hospital room and took my blood without any permission. It was a childhood incident, but he remembers it clearly, and even now, it still makes him uncomfortable. He was in an emergency ward with his mother in a mid-sized city hospital, dealing with a severe nosebleed so bad that clotting had already started. The area was crowded, with beds separated only by curtains and no proper private rooms. His mother stepped out briefly to talk to a doctor, and that's when everything became strange. The curtain moved slightly, and a man walked in. He was wearing a white coat, but something felt off. He didn't look like a typical doctor. His clothes underneath were just normal pants, and the coat looked slightly wrinkled. At that age, he didn't notice much, but one detail stood out. The man had no trolley and no proper medical equipment. Calmly, he said, "I need to take a small blood sample." He pulled out a syringe and tubes from his pockets, and without much explanation, started the process. According to him, the man filled multiple tubes. He doesn't remember the exact number, but it felt like more than usual. Everything happened so fast there was no time to react. Then, just as the last tube was being filled, footsteps were heard outside. The man suddenly became tense, his face turning pale. He quickly removed the needle, didn't apply a proper bandage, just pressed a tissue against the spot, tossed it aside, stuffed everything back into his pockets, and without saying a word, pulled the curtain and walked out in the opposite direction. A few seconds later, his mother returned with the actual doctor. The doctor casually said, "A nurse will be here shortly to take a blood sample." Hearing this, the child immediately replied, "An uncle already took it." The room went silent. The doctor asked, "What uncle?" He described him, white coat, odd dressing, no equipment. The doctor's reaction wasn't normal. He looked at the mother and said quietly, "He's not part of our staff," and immediately left the room. Within seconds, there was movement in the hallway, people rushing, voices echoing, as if someone was being searched for, but the man was never found. Later, the hospital confirmed no one matching that description worked there. No unknown entry was recorded during that shift, and no one clearly remembered seeing him. The strangest part was that no proper report was filed, no serious investigation followed, and after some time, the whole matter just faded away. Years later, when he grew up, he asked his mother about it again, but she only said, "Let it go." Even today, he still doesn't know who that man was, why he took so much blood, and most importantly, how he got into the hospital so easily and disappeared just as easily. If you were there, what would you question first? In 2023, a Reddit user shared a strange and disturbing post on an investigation-type subreddit. He said he works in an optical lab in a small industrial area in California where they make custom eyeglasses. Last Friday around 8:30 p.m. during their shift, one of his coworkers suddenly stood up and walked straight to the exit door without saying a word. The strangest part was that he left everything behind. On his desk were his phone charger, a tablet, headphones, and a half-read book. And after that, he never came back. At first, no one took it seriously. People thought he was stressed or had just quit his job. But things got weird when that night, his phone kept ringing on every call, and then suddenly switched off. The next day, the boss contacted his family. Their response was unusual. They said he sometimes leaves without telling anyone. But the OP said he had worked with him for 1.5 years, and he was completely normal, with no signs of disappearing like that. Then, 3 days later, a group message appeared with unknown numbers, including the missing coworker's number. There was no text, only 3 photos. The photos were blurry, like they were taken in a rush, like he was running or hiding. One showed a dark road, another showed the corner of an old building. The third showed trees with a shadow-like figure in the middle. The OP called immediately. The first call rang and then got cut. The second call went straight to voicemail. That's when he realized something was seriously wrong. The post went viral, and people started analyzing the photos. Some extracted EXIF data and found a major inconsistency. The timestamps were 2 years old. People also questioned the location and asked why he was being so vague. Slowly, people started saying it could be fake or maybe an ARG. Months later, the OP returned with an update. He said he wished everything was fine, but there were still no answers. He had lost his job, and there were still no updates on the case. He said he was not lying and wished all of it was fake. But the internet is still divided. Some believe it was planned. Others still think he really disappeared. What do you think? Was it just an online game? Or something real that was never meant to be found? I want to hear your darkest theories in the comments.